For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, you are getting my au naturel face. Be kind. But I'm super excited. I'm introducing our chat this week. So Michael and I sit down with Jill Garelick-Aron. She is an amazing executive producer who's had a really cool career, and she goes through her whole path with us, how she got into production and what she has coming up in the future. And she's been a producer on shows that I know I personally love, like The Bachelor. She did Celebrity Fit Club. She did Extreme Makeover Home Edition. Martha and Snoop's Potluck Party Challenge. She was a producer on Michael's show, Stranded with $1,000,000. Disney's Fairy Tale Weddings. Like, the list goes on and on. It's been so cool. It was great chatting with her, and I think you guys will love this. Enjoy. Hi, everyone.
Hey everyone, we are here with Jill.
Yep.
Garelick, Michael, you got it.
So strong, so brave.
Hey guys, I'm struggling today. We are here with Jill Garelick, and she is an EP. She was on my show. She did my show, Stranded with $1,000,000, and she is here, and we are going to torture her today. Welcome, Jill.
I can't wait, you guys.
What a treat.
Oh my God.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah. And I know y'all have such a history together, so this should be really fun.
I know, I'm super excited. We're gonna get all the juice out of you, just like so much gossip. Oh my God, everyone's so excited. Jill's like, oh my God, what did I get myself into?
No, you know me, Michael. I'm the nurturer. Let's see what we got here.
Okay, do you want to start?
Okay, let's see.
Where should we start?
Ooh, okay. I mean,
there's so much.
I know,
done so much, and I have so many questions, but I don't know where to start.
I know. So let's see. You've done so many shows. I think the first ones that popped out to me, because I was recently on, like, kind of doing a background on season 3 of Snoop and Martha's Potluck Challenge. So the thing I kind of noticed about that show, with it being a daytime show, I feel like there isn't a history of a lot of hip hop artists that are featured as guests on daytime shows. Was that intentional from Snoop or from production to kind of get that going?
Well, I don't think it aired as a daytime show.
It didn't feel like daytime. Oh,
but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I watch it live, so I tend to not watch it on TV as much. But it was a great show to work on. I actually, I did all of season 2, and then I prepped season 3 and was actually pregnant. And the week that they shot, I ended up having my son. So I wasn't on set the whole time. I kind of got kicked off because they said that my doctor basically kicked me off. I would have worked until I was delivering.
A little break, just a little.
Yeah. You had like someone to take care of or whatever.
It's just casual.
Right.
They're like, your blood pressure has to stay really low. I'm like, I might not want to be on set then.
Maybe not. No. It can be a little stressful. Yeah.
Not at all. Okay. Well, it's still, even with it being an evening show, it still kind of applies that it's rare to have hip hop artists kind of join in on talk shows in that sense. Mm-hmm. Did it ever, from your experience of kind of hearing about it, was anyone in production nervous about them being a wild card, or any guests being wild cards as they were on the show?
No, I feel like that show, for some reason, worked. And it worked well. There was a blend of so many different dynamics on set, whether that's a guest or the talent. It just, everybody was like included. So it was a great set to be on because of that, because of the fact that, like, it didn't matter what part of entertainment you were in, including the guests, whether it's comedy or drama or music, like, everybody had fun. And I think that was the vibe we really tried to have on set. Snoop, it was one of the nicest talents I've worked with. When we wrapped season 2, he took a picture with almost every crew member, just because he's a good guy. Like, I mean, I've had a really positive experience working with him.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know he always has the moniker of Uncle Snoop, so it's good to hear that holds up behind the scenes too.
Martha, a little bit more difficult.
I have heard. Lord.
Very talented. Very, very talented.
Oh no, yeah. I really wanted to go to her estate sale, I think like 7 months ago in New York. So random. Really wanted to go to that. But explain, I'm really confused.
Oh yeah, I've just heard that she's particular about how things are done, and she's kind of like, these are things I will do and what I won't do.
Okay.
Is what I've kind of heard.
So
she has a legacy. You know,
Oh
she
yeah.
almost has worked hard her whole life in
Oh
order
yeah.
to be that person. You know, and as a producer on the show, you want to make her happy, you want her to deliver, you know, all that kind of stuff. And she has her people. You know, if she doesn't have the right cups in the right order, it throws her off a little bit. She's also older.
Yeah.
You know, and so when you get to a certain age, you know, they expect you to have everything in order. So
Right. Especially, yeah, because she's been at it for so long too. So she's seen all this production happen. So it's like, why is no, it's almost like a Miranda Priest, like, why is no one ready? Like that kind of
yeah, exactly.
energy.
I mean,
Exactly.
obviously not on your toes, like when you're in production, but like Kevin in our interview, our first interview, said that it's more likely for a show that has like a real celebrity, like Denise Richards, for example, the show he did, um, to kind of be more particular. Were you more on your toes on that show? Or
Oh
is it just
yeah.
kind of like,
Oh no,
yeah.
we had to be on our toes because not only did we have Martha and Snoop, but every episode we had 2 or 3 guests that were, you know, we didn't have guests that were like DEF actors. Like these were all A-list, you know, A-B-list actors or comedy or music or whoever.
I
So
thought I'd
yeah,
be
no,
on
we
it.
had to be what?
I thought I'd be on it. I'm like,
Ah, I mean,
Jill, I'm so famous.
Listen, the same level as the Jonas Brothers.
I mean, I'm
or
really
like,
famous in like WeHo, you know, at the clubs, you know, with the gays.
got you.
I mean, that's a different kind of famous, Michael. Like I feel like that's a famous.
Infamous.
Infamous.
Listen.
Slutty. Sorry.
It's like claiming it for oneself.
No.
Oh gosh.
But who's your favorite guest on that show? I didn't watch season 2. I watched season 1. But who's your favorite guest to come on that you remember?
That's a really good question. Who did I love? I mean, we had like Jamie Foxx was on it.
Oh.
And he sang and it was unbelievable. And I even think this was before he was like singing as, you know, an actor also, but maybe he's been doing that for a long time, but he was an incredible guest. And I really remember that like sticks in my, I feel like that might even be the last episode of season that we shot for season 2.
Gotcha.
But you know, he was incredible.
Did everyone, when he started singing, just line up and they were just like
It was
watching him sing?
complete silence, like at first. And then it was like, yay, you know, woohoo. But like everybody was like, wow.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So I was only thinking because I work in production, but I worked on season 7 of Blackish, and they had Boys to Men on an episode, and the way that we all lined up on the set and were just for every take watching them, and everyone's like, shh, no one's working. We're just watching them sing. Just go. So I was wondering if the crew was like that too when he started singing.
Yeah, I mean, like that happened a lot. Like, you know, I have to remember that I'm working, but like, because I kind of ran the floor, like there was a truck with whatever, and then I was on the floor with all the talent moving in and out. But I mean, I remember that. I remember Seth Rogen also was really good.
Ooh, yeah.
him.
He seems really fun.
Yeah.
That's the thing, one of the unique things about that show, because the two main hosts are so different from each other, the pull of talent as guests can kind of is far reaching with who you guys had access to.
And they're both legendary, you know,
Right.
like both talent is legendary. And like, you
yeah.
know, I don't know how much it was like a phone call from Martha and Snoop to get them on, but like just their credibility alone helped.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Okay, I want a little segue away from this.
Okay.
But I want to ask you about being a female producer within entertainment. I was one of the biggest questions I had was, do you, as a female executive producer, do you feel obligated to add anything or mention anything within a show? You can
Like
help me with working.
Oh,
a
like certain
topic.
topics that you want to kind of champion or put a spotlight on.
Yeah.
Or maybe show different participants or contestants in a specific light
That like
because
your
of that.
male counterparts wouldn't potentially see or really think of adding within the cast or like the show.
I mean, I've worked with a lot of male producers in my career, and I feel like the one thing that a female producer, and I don't know how judgmental this is, but like they add heart and emotion to so much. And I feel like when you have a female producer, when a network hires a female producer in really any position, the more they look for the emotion, they look for the heart. Those are the type of shows that, you know, you get on That being said, I try and diversify as much as possible because of that. Like, I know I can be a great producer on a dating show, on a wedding show, a hair show, whatever. But like the show I am wrapping now, I'm in post on, is LaRon and a Million, which is LaRon Hines of Snapchat fame. He's the one that interviews preschoolers, and he's looking for a music career. And I feel like, it's a very different place for me. But as a female producer, you bring that energy and you bring that heart to every project. And I feel it really shows through when you're working on it and what you get on camera. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it did. I mean, it
Yeah.
really did. And also, I feel like personally, with my experience with you, is, I mean, we talked about it a little before we started filming, but I was telling Victoria, you were the one who always came and made sure I was okay. And like, that also affected the way that I spoke on camera during my confessionals, for example, was the way that you treated me and made me feel like a real person during the show, which, I mean, everyone else did, but you really made me feel like heard when like I got sick, and you really listened to me. And that does affect it in a way for how I perform as well, or how another cast member.
And every show I'm on, like, that's something that I really hold very near to my heart, is that it's not easy being on reality TV. Like, there's no part of it that is easy, and like, you're being very vulnerable in that position. And if the people around you, producers, crew, are not sympathetic to that, you're not going to get the best product either. And I feel like that's something that like I strive for as a producer, is that, the more that I listen and the more that I can do what I can for my cast members. And it doesn't need to be on a deserted island. You know what I mean? It could be in any situation. I do a lot of real world stuff as well. And, look, I can't always agree. I can't always give you what you want, but if I'm listening and I appreciate what you're giving us to make a show, then that makes a better show. And that's just plain and simple, and I think sometimes producers get a bigger head about what their job is. Sometimes they don't know how to handle cast. Like, reality TV is a little bit of therapy also. Like, the producer's job is like a little bit of therapy. And I will tell you, my degree is in elementary education, nothing to do with TV, but I do feel like the listening and the appreciation and the, telling people they're doing a good job, whether it might be a hard or difficult situation, like, that is so important.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you got pushback, or because you are one of the few female voices in a room on that kind of stuff, did you experience, or do you experience a lot of pushback from either networks or from other male producers that think, oh, hush, you don't know what you're talking about, this is how we do things?
Always. I mean, there's been many shows that I've been on that, like, I tend to be, I don't know if I want to say the nice producer, but like the gentler. Like, if I'm going to come in and give you some bad news, I'm going to be as gentle as possible, because it sucks. Like, there's no part of it that I'm going to like be in your face and be like, you're kicked off and you're done and goodbye. Like, I can't do that with a smile on my face. Like, I'm just not that person, like, at my heart. So like, I have gotten a lot, especially in the casting process. Like, it's difficult. People come in, they want to be famous. They want to be on a show. They want to, and to hear, no, you're not, is hard. Like, that's a hard conversation to have with somebody. Or if you get kicked off first, like, it's never fun.
Completely.
Totally affects us. We expect to be the new Snooki, and it just doesn't work out that way sometimes. You just expect it, and
just take it. Yeah.
Don't ever let go of your goals. Always keep focused on those goals, because if you don't,
that's why we're here right now.
Hello. Have you ever, because I know you were saying that you try to approach everything with more of like a gentle hand with stuff. Have you ever felt pressure to be more of a hard ass as a producer with people?
Always.
Instead, or like, oh, I should attack that more?
People in cast positions, like especially celebrities, will walk all over you, and if you don't, there is a limit. Like, I do stand up for what I believe in, and I do stand up to make the best show. And ultimately that's my job. And if a talent is pushing back that much and can't accept whatever that direction is, sometimes you do need a harder hand. And I've done that before too. I try really hard to stay away from that if I can, because genuinely, I love my cast. and I want them to be successful, because if the show is successful, I'm also successful,
Yeah.
and so the more that they are happy with how they're delivering on camera, the more, they're excited about the project or the day or the segment, the better it's going to be, like
Yeah.
plain and simple. Like, and the more in the pre-production process you research these segments that, you've kind of creatively come up with, and you put it with a spin on what this is really like for them, the better show you're going to get. And I try really hard to, especially in the docuseries that I've done, is like sit down with talent for like days. They're annoyed with me, but the more I know who they are and the more I like can embrace them, the better the show's going to be.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I was also just curious, this is more of a general question. I feel like I'm monopolizing it.
No,
Sorry.
I love it.
How do you become attached to the projects that you work on?
Mhm.
Are you pitching them and then like that's your baby, or do you get a call from like your rep and say, hey, they need a producer for this, can you step on, and then get attached that way?
I mean, it's a little bit of rep. I have an amazing agent that I am like obsessed with. I actually have a team of agents. But I also like, it's connections. You work with great people like Kevin Lee, and you want to work with them again. So when a project comes up, and they reach out to you, like it's a little bit of networking. I'm a huge fan of networking. Like if I get a project with a friend, it's even better than if I get a project from my agent, just because it's a comfortable, level. But no, I'm at an age now that like, if a project comes to me that I'm not necessarily feeling or don't think I can be as passionate about, I usually don't accept it, because I really feel like I can make an amazing show, just like with talent. When they're like loving what they're doing, they're making an amazing show.
Yeah.
And I think the same with, when a project comes to me.
Oh, perfect.
And then speaking of networking, we were talking earlier and you mentioned that you used to have like a networking system. And then in your own words, you said before the internet. Sorry, you said it to me, so I'm gonna say it. She's like embarrassed. She's hiding if you're not watching.
She's like, don't you date me.
She said that. But yeah, can you explain that a little? Because we talked about it a little, but I'd love to hear more about it.
Yeah. So I had, again, like this was probably like 2005, 2006. And I created a networking group with a friend called Connecting Reality.
Okay.
And I really felt at the time I was probably like a segment producer or field producer. And I felt like I had this circle of people and I loved working with them and it was great, but I couldn't break out of the circle of people. And in order to do that, I was like, oh, let me host some events. Let me get to know some people. And I would find a location that would give us something for free. People pay for their own drinks, but I made everybody wear a name tag so that I would remember their name and then it's also good for everybody else, but I also write what their position is. So like, even if it was like lighting or gaffer or art department or whatever it is, like you start to network and you start to like become friends with people. And I feel like it's funny because I feel like it was right at the top of like when Facebook started to like be bigger. I don't know if that's the right timing, but I had like a Facebook group with Connecting Reality too, which is probably now defunct. I don't know. I should probably go look it up, but it was a great way to just meet new people and network. Because you're at a level where if you can't break out of that circle, you get stuck, and I think that's a very exciting part of entertainment and reality is that the more you can expand your circle, the more you grow as a producer and you learn. Similar to what I said about like having a genre that you're like really into, like weddings or like whatever it is, like dating. If you can expand that, I mean, I did The Biggest Loser, which was a weight loss show on a different format, like for USA, but I had done a bunch of other weight loss shows, but never a real competition weight loss show like that. And it's through networking and through talking to people that I got that job. I randomly knew a casting person that I had done a different show with, totally went into that interview, thought it was a totally different show, did not prep for it, had an amazing interview. Sometimes you just gotta, let's say, talk your way through it. I mean, I literally thought I was going in for a renovation show and I ended up sitting in the chair and it was a weight loss show.
I mean, kind of a renovation, human body.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a crazy story. I still can't believe I got that job to this day because it was very crazy timing. There was a lot of things happening. But I totally just lost my train of thought of what the original question was. Facebook connecting reality.
Yes.
Anyways, it was a small group. I mean, it got bigger, and I started focusing more on my career than being able to manage a networking group. And I kind of tried to pass the torch on. That didn't pass on so much. I don't know. Are you familiar with Working Women in Reality TV, that group?
I feel like I've heard of it. Have you?
I'm trying to think. Because I'm more on the scripted side, so I'm not as familiar with non-scripted.
So I feel like the founder of that group is a friend of mine, and I feel like I helped her kind of kick that off just a little bit. She did all the work. I'm not taking any credit for that, but I feel like a similar community was built. Once I kind of moved on from mine.
And like the thing is with LA, as I've noticed, that people don't really understand networking is such a big part of it. And they take it as you're utilizing someone and like using them in a malicious way. That's why even like for this podcast, I'm really careful who I ask, because like I feel like they're going to mistaken it as like I'm using them for their followers or their connections and stuff like that. It's like, no, I'm really trying to network and also build something. So then when you come back on later, I can help you and help you benefit from you helping me earlier. And people don't understand that concept here. And like, that's really the way the people who are like you, who are doing well, understand that concept. And I've been on photo shoots. People are like, no, I don't want to ask this. I don't want to like, I don't want to like reach out to this person I'm really good friends with. I'm like, when you're really good friends with them, you should ask them. And like, if they are your good friend, they'll understand like, you just need that helping hand, maybe like a little push,
right. And it's okay for them to say no.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. If you don't ask, you'll never know.
Yep. Right.
But like, and if they say no, that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned, especially like in reality, we're always looking for locations. We're always looking for, different things. And reality TV tends to not have a lot of money. And so like, in a scripted world, a lot of money comes with that. And in reality, especially the smaller shows are really difficult to get exactly what you want without money. And that comes to talking, and it comes to networking.
Yeah.
And then what was actually kind of going backwards in time here for those that are curious of becoming producers and EPs on non-scripted? What was your path? Like, how'd you start in production and work your way up?
So, how far back do I go? So I graduated with a degree in elementary education. I wanted to be a teacher. And I randomly, the summer between when I graduated college and when I was going to start the credential program, I got a production assistant job on the red carpet of the Golden Globe Awards. And I grew up in the East Coast. So like being California, red carpet, like craziness. And I loved it. And I became friends with the production coordinator, which, like you said, like the networking thing, you don't really realize until you're in it.
Yeah.
And this production coordinator was like, oh my God, she's an amazing PA. I need to bring her to my next project. And she kept asking me to work. And long story short, she ended up getting a job at the TV Guide channel, which is the one that used to roll once a week.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And she brought me in as their first PA to the LA office because they were based in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I was there for about 4 years till a point where I was like, got a little bored and I had moved my way up to different producers and I was on the red carpet. My job at one point was to literally sit in the crotch of our talent who was on the red carpet and hand questions, like, on the red carpet. And by the way, I don't know, Katie Wagner was my talent and I'm like obsessed with her. Like she's an amazing talent. And that's Robert Wagner's daughter. And I would literally sit in her crotch at an MTV award and just hand questions. She'd be like, Bono's coming. And I'd like hand questions up to her.
Oh my God.
And I got to do a lot of the research and help write those questions. And then I just got bored because I felt like celebrities were a little bit boring because they would give you canned answers. And so I wanted to work with real people. And I took a really big chance and jumped on a show for 4 months in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I've been working in reality since. And that was probably like 2004, 2003.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, no, completely.
I know this is like really hard because we also asked Kevin this, and obviously like they're all your babies and like, obviously all that stuff. But what was the hardest show that you've done? Like maybe not like mentally, but more like physically, or like people getting sick or like that kind of issues, like more internal issues. And then which one did you have the most fun yourself on, like offset or on set too? So opposites.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with two favorite because that's way easier.
Yeah.
And it's two because I feel like so Extreme Makeover Home Edition
Mhm.
was an amazing show to work on and off, like behind the scenes and in front of the camera. And, my job on that show, I was a field producer, I think my title was. I got to be in the house when Ty like surprised them outside. So they didn't realize they were getting surprised. And
Mhm.
it's such a community show. That show is amazing.
Mhm.
So that would be my probably number one. And my second would be Tabatha, because
Okay.
Tabatha is not only is she passionate about what she does, but she's a great collaborator.
Mhm.
And it was like a show. I did multiple seasons of that show. And I just felt like every time we wanted the best out of the situation. And so did she. And
Mhm.
I think she worked, she's a little tough on camera, but
Oh yeah.
she appreciated what all these hardworking people were doing. And those are probably my two favorite shows that I've ever worked on.
Mhm.
And then the most difficult would probably be Wedding Island. It was a TLC docuseries about a wedding planner on Via Kiss in Puerto Rico. And
Sandra,
what?
what's her name?
Oh,
Sandra.
Sandy Malone.
Sandy Malone. See, it was right. There you
Oh,
go.
boom.
Sandy Malone.
She
Earlier, I said
was
Sandy
a
Malone.
very difficult person to work with. I mean, we were in her business 24 hours a day, and
Yeah.
you're on an island. There are no resources. So like, in order to get balloons, we had to get them from like the main island. And like, in order to get to the main island, it was like a ferry ride and then a boat. And then, it was really difficult.
Mhm.
And, I actually think one of the last hurricanes like wiped out the island, but there was a W resort on there that was amazing. And it was a very difficult, like difficult show,
Mhm.
difficult talent. And we just were in this bubble, and look, Fiji was also very hard on Stranded. I would say that's my second other hardest show I've done because we literally had a typhoon, which I've
Yeah,
never had before.
horrifying. And my hotel was like on the ocean and had no gate, and like it was like going into our rooms, and I was like, is this how I die? Is this how I
I
die?
mean, we almost didn't make it across that river. Like I was
Oh.
like I was with the cast. So anybody that was still on the show, we evacuated everybody to a hotel, and like nobody could talk, and like we were still in competition, and there's like a lot of rules that come with it.
Yeah.
And the tires were like starting to get washed away as we were like driving back. So like that show, and physically that show was hard. I mean, like it was a lot of walking. It was a lot of like hot, buggy. I
Yeah.
have pictures of myself. Like I said, I am not an outdoors person. And I literally at one point had like a mosquito net like over my face.
Oh, I
And
remember you having that. Yeah.
oh, I would say those are the two most difficult and then the two best.
You had like no
Fair.
skin showing. It was great.
I wouldn't either.
You
I
had,
don't
like
blame her.
everything was covered. It was like those like waterproof pants. Like,
It was really good for weight loss though, I will tell you that.
Oh,
Hello,
yeah,
there we go.
okay, not for me.
Detox.
I asked them for like, oh, I had like the food there too, but I wanted like something sweet, so they brought me. I don't know if you knew this, but like one of those giant tubs of peanut butter. They
I
brought
totally
me
knew
like,
that.
like 3 of them. Oh, do you remember that? Yeah, and I literally would eat it with a spoon in the living room while we watching our one movie, Fast and Furious 5. Just over and over that movie, and then Ariana Grande's song, whatever, you can get it. And then we only had 2 songs, and clearly I don't remember them, and they weren't Dangerous Woman. There you go.
Wait, that you were allowed to listen to
Because
when
we
you
didn't
were
have
back in the...
we didn't really have internet, and we didn't have, when you're on reality shows, you don't have your phone, you don't have a watch, you have a flashlight, but you don't really have any like electronics with
Right.
you. So our PA downloaded a couple with the little internet she had, and she did one movie and like 3 songs, and over. So Fast and Furious 5 is stuck in my head.
I mean, at least you had that. I would imagine, because I know I don't do quiet well. So if I was imagining you guys like falling asleep to them, like I cannot.
Yeah.
I'd lose my mind.
I do
Oh.
not do quiet well either.
No. Well, it was loud. The typhoon was lovely. It
There you go.
created sound.
No, that was actually really scary.
No, it was. No, and I felt really bad also for the locals, because I mean, which was great about that show is that you guys also employed so many locals, and that really helped them, because a lot of their show, I mean, I remember driving it through the town, and like half the buildings were totaled.
Yeah.
Like like the outskirts, not the town. They were fine, but
Yeah.
like outskirts. And that was
Yeah.
really, I mean, that was one of the things I loved most about the show, like seeing everyone kind of bringing as a community. And they also were cheering us on too. They're like, they had their favorites on the show, and they came up to me, they're like, we thought you'd win. And I was like, nope, nope.
You're like, episode 2, baby.
It's supposed to be episode 1, but they definitely dragged it out, so it didn't look as bad.
Beautiful.
Yeah. 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 It's true.
Oh man. Wait, so then, okay, you mentioned Sandy Malone earlier. With a show like that, and it's doing a docuseries, this is kind of a chicken and the egg question. Is it someone met her and thought, oh, we want to follow her business? Or did someone, or do you have the idea of we want to do a show about something specific like this, and you look for a business owner that does that job?
I think that one, I don't even know. So I think you asked me a question earlier too about like how that happens. And I don't know if I really answered that, but like it's for that one, I believe 495 Productions found her, and the network was looking for something exotic, a wedding show, an exotic location. Those two things together made a show, and here we are, and the talent has to agree. And there's a lot of different layers to that scenario. I am the type of producer that once the show is sold, I come in and make it happen. I like to say, like, I'm a make it happen producer. You, even in a very difficult situation, sometimes you pitch a show, you don't know what it's about, you don't know who it's about, you don't know how it's going to work, and then they buy it, and you're just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And that's when I usually get a call saying, like, we need to make this show work. We now have money to make a show. And so I think with that one, I was in the position where the show was already sold, and it was like, let's go down there, let's figure it out. I think we went down there like for like a week prior to even going down there to shoot. And I had to like scout and make sure that it was, there was place for crew and it was safe. Like there was a lot of safety issues with that location as well. There was a lot of crime at the time. And so we had to make sure that where we were was safe.
Mm-hmm.
So did that answer?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, no, yeah, totally.
Oh, completely.
But I'm gonna kind of stop us for a second. We're gonna take a little quick break, and then we'll come back, play some games. We're gonna talk about travel, and then a little more about your projects. So see you in a second. Bye, guys.
Yay, great.
Nope. Fame Adjacent is brought to you by Cheaters Club Eyewear.
Cheaters Club isn't just a name, it's a definition. In fact, the word cheaters is a common word used to refer to readers, and we're so here for it.
Cheaters likes to think of themselves as a destination for anyone who refuses to succumb to their age and wants to feel sexy and stylish when reaching for their reading glasses. Ooh. Put more simply, they're the next best thing to Botox and fillers.
Cheaters Club offers a unique line of fresh styles that use top-of-the-line materials at surprisingly affordable prices. All their frames are handcrafted using 100% acetate and spring hinges for all-day wear. They fit them with CR39 lenses for the best visual quality with 100% UVA and UVB protection.
Want more? Their lenses are also oleophobic and hydrophobic, which is a fancy way of saying you can still enjoy perfect vision after you finish a greasy cheeseburger in the rain.
Use code FAME, in all caps, FAME, for $10 off your first pair of Cheaters Club glasses today. Thanks. Welcome back, Jill.
Thank you. Good to see you.
You're such a smooth transition. I love it.
Right? Casual.
It's so casual. Okay.
Let's see. Are you ready with anything off the top, or do you want me to take a...
Let's start with the would you rathers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. So
the hard stuff first.
Strap in. This basically puts you in the place of being a contestant for like different capacities of your shows you've worked on.
Yes.
All right.
So
not as a producer, contestant.
Nope, as a contestant.
Yeah.
So would you rather be observed and critiqued by Tabatha doing your job, or be a contestant on Celebrity Fit Club?
Ooh. Tabatha for sure. Celebrity Fit Club was brutal. I will tell you though that I ended up testing all of those obstacles. That was really fun, but I did it for the fun, not for the contestant wise. So I think because I feel like I would always learn something from her.
Fair. Yeah. Because I was telling Michael, I feel like she has that. She gives me the same quality of like a Gordon Ramsay, like tough but fair. Like
yes.
The passion is because they want you to be better.
And they really care about your craft. And also she really cared about like the other workers at the places that she would always, it was really focused on that and making sure they were okay. Not even just the owner, but just mostly about the employees, because
Yeah.
that would affect them even more than the owner. I mean, the owner obviously very affected, but like employees.
How do we bring that show back? I'm in.
Hello.
You
Please.
guys.
Please do it. I loved that show.
Could she do a podcast version? Wait, no. Wait, we're okay. We're okay.
I was like, no. I was like,
We're
do we
good.
need it? Do
No,
we
we
need to take
don't.
over?
We'll be consultants.
There we go. Be like, oh, honey, the chemistry. Where is it?
Where is it? Oh my God. Okay.
All right, so next one. Would you rather date a contestant from Tool Academy or be a contestant on The Bachelor?
Oh God. Oh. This is very hard, you guys.
Hard hitting.
I sort of want to say date a tool because The Bachelor was brutal. I mean, I don't know. That's a really hard one.
I honestly, that one was like, this would be a tough one. And I knew it.
Like,
All right, we're going with Tool. We're dating a Tool.
yeah.
Okay. And then last one of this round of Would You Rather?
Yeah.
Would you rather be on X Isle or a contestant on Stranded with $1 Million?
Exile.
Really?
I don't be in the outdoors like that and live off the land. Exile, you're in a resort. Like,
God,
Fair,
Jill,
but you're with your ex.
we could have been a team.
hey, I'd rather be in a nice setting than not have any food.
Well, I had food, but whatever.
Well, yeah, I was like, once you're like flared out, then
Oh
yeah,
no,
you
on the show I had food. I was the first one
Oh.
to spend $15,000.
That's right,
I
you
was
did.
not. Gina was.
right.
But I made a point to keep saying, "This is your decision. This is on you. This is on you."
That's literally the
And
equivalent.
thank you. I appreciate you keeping that in.
Oh,
For the editors, I appreciate they kept all of my. It's you. Like, I rewatched it last night.
you're the equivalent of when you like a friend asks for dating advice and you like rip them to shreds and go, "But I don't know, it's up to you."
Like, I don't think that's right, but it's okay.
Well,
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. I came onto the show, and I'll be honest about my intentions. My intention was I kind of knew I had a bit of a role, even though you guys really didn't tell me I had a role. But I felt like I had a role, and I felt like the role was no one's doing anything. I need to move the story along. So I just wish I was on that show the whole time. I feel like it would have been a little more dramatic.
I mean, we talked
No.
about who did the
Not a
shoestring
little,
A
set.
lot of
probably a lot.
reality contestants think they're brought on for a role and they don't listen to producers and they don't know what their role really is. And then they, just saying.
What was my role supposed to be?
I mean, I don't remember, but I just feel like a lot of reality contestants tend to think they know why they're on the show and take it onto themselves to make some decisions.
Oh, I thought I was just a narcissistic, beautiful gay man that just had to cause drama,
She's like, "What? that doesn't sound like what I wrote."
Well, because I remember, and we can take this up if you don't approve it, but I remember in our casting process, we were talking about Kevin, about the hotel and everything, which did not know that those rooms, the camera thing, not in our rooms, but in the lobby areas, I did not know we were being recorded in the lobbies. Did not know at all. So, surprise. You said that on the thing.
Always
But,
on. You're always on.
I totally forgot my question, so never mind.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Sorry, we were playing games. I got distracted again.
I got distracted too, clearly.
Fair. Yes.
On the thing, I remember when you were interviewing me in the room, when Kevin was watching on the big screen in another room with all the other producers, you were like, read me. I heard that you can read people. And I remember I got really frustrated and I called you a certain name. And then, not like you, but then I forget, you said oh God, I forget something. Whatever, who cares? Just move on. I don't know. My
No,
brain's-
stick the landing. You got this.
It'll come back, like the end of the episode, I'll remember.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Okay, so next.
We play a version of Fuck, Marry, Kill, but it's called Green Light.
On pause or canceled.
Okay.
So it's just like your emotional response to it, not like these things would actually, you'd want these things to happen. But what would you
Okay.
rather?
No
Green light, put on
physicality.
pause, or cancel?
Yes.
Wait, sorry,
But
green light, pause, or cancel?
Yes.
yes. Between Disney's fairy tale weddings,
Mhm.
Little Women, Tara's Little Family, or Mother-Daughter Experiment Celebrity Edition.
With Kim Richards.
Oh, cancel that one. Cancel mother-daughter. Cancel mother-daughter. I would say pause Little Women and green light Disney's fairy tale weddings.
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay. Cool. Now I'm curious because like with daughter, mother,
Yeah,
with
mother-daughter
that,
experiment.
yeah, because it was is that Celebrity Edition? Was there a plan to initially have, or was there one? Because I couldn't find one where there was just a mother-daughter show anyway, and then they made up. Nope. Okay.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that show. Actually, that's a really good one with a lot of gossip. Just not to bring that up, but that was Courtney Stodden on that show. Was
And Heidi Montag, Kim Richards,
Like so many. Shar Jackson.
Shar
like so many
Jackson.
people, and then of course
I love
Kim.
Shar Jackson. I love her so much.
In my spirit, I had a feeling.
Yeah.
I love her. I can't say enough good things about her. Like, and Cassie, her daughter too, they're great.
Love.
Poor
Because I personally love Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt. They're kind of like my original reality TV loves. I don't know.
She's super preggers right now.
I know.
that's
Their second
right.
child.
Yes.
The first, I don't know their first kid's name, but he's
I
really
forget. It was
cute.
something cute.
He's
too.
really cute. Baron? No.
I thought I was
Something
thinking the bear, but I don't
Yeah.
know. But I remember, because they were on the reboot of The Hills too, and then I was following that because the way that The Hills could have been put into my veins, I loved that show so much.
Oh, but speaking of roles, Cody Dunlap on our show on Certain with $1 Million, he felt like his role was to be the new Spencer Pratt. I vividly remember him telling me that off camera multiple times. He'd be like, yeah.
Honest?
Not to like burst anybody's bubble, but you really don't know the role until the show's being edited.
Oh, I know.
Like it's I mean, like, yes, I wanted him to be the biggest, best version of himself, you to be the biggest, best version of yourself. But like, until you're in edit, you really don't know what your role is.
That's fair.
Even if you think you know what your role is.
Yeah. Ooh.
Well, okay. What would you, if I were to be casted on another reality TV show?
Oh, this is gonna be tough.
What kind of show would you cast me on as a producer? Knowing how I did in the survival realm and how I acted off screen and currently on this interview, what would you cast me on?
That is a
And
hard
will you cast me on it right
yes,
now?
I would. The answer is yes. I feel like you're not like a Lego Masters type of cast member, but like I feel like
scared her.
Show that, like, first of all, I could totally see you on a dating show. Like that is yes.
Toxic.
Like,
I mean, listen, I would have
Dating Around. Have you seen that show? Have you seen Dating Around on Netflix?
No.
Oh wait, no, that's not the one that's like of kind of 90 Day Fiance situation, is it?
No. Oh, that's a good one for him too. But
and 12 Days of Christmas.
No, Dating Around is like, it's like spy cameras. Like there's not a lot of producing. It's like you just see what happens on a normal blind date.
Ooh, that's good.
I feel like I'd embarrass myself.
The way that I would watch that though, I would, especially because of like the types that you said you gravitate to dating, and from witnessing the other one, I feel like it'd be fascinating to watch you two on a date.
Yeah, right? Like on a dating show, I think you'd be great.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
I can be the new what's the guy on 90 Day Fiance?
Not Big Ed. Don't you do that to yourself.
I don't know that show that well. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that one.
No.
I'm not caught up on like the latest seasons, but man, the way that is usually my Thanksgiving treat to myself is my friends and I will do Thanksgiving and cook and we smoke and watch a season of 90 Day Fiance. It's the best ritual ever.
You know what other show you'd be good on is Love is Blind.
Ooh. Thoughts?
I'd do it. Why not?
Okay. Yeah.
I have low standards for myself.
I just feel like there's actually
great
a
show,
good
though.
chance. Yeah, because I mean, I'm assuming you're caught up on this
So I'm not fully through the season. I'm saying I have like 2 or 3 more episodes left. So don't tell me what
Okay, I
happened.
won't say
I know, I
anything.
know.
Locking it up. The way that I was
Locking it up.
adamant about texting my friends, and even like I was literally at the gym with my trainer, and she always knows that it's usually work. She's like, "Oh, is it work?" I go, "No, we're just discussing Love is Blind. One second."
Oh my
It's
God.
yeah, get those last couple of episodes in. It's a journey.
Yeah, I've read about them, so I kind of know what's going on. Like I tend to read everything online and then I go watch the show because it's
I do
more
the
like,
same thing. I
I
like,
need
I
to
kind of
know.
like
Like if I start watching something
knowing.
and I don't know the outcome, I'm like, it like drives me nuts.
I do that with RuPaul's Drag Race. I literally know who's limited every single episode. I know all the details, and then I like watching it because I know, but then I watch for like what made them go home that
Oh, you'd
day.
be good on Big Brother too. You'd be good on Big Brother.
I actually almost
Ooh.
applied. That's the only. That's like maybe the only reality show I've never been asked to do or applied to. Because Love
Mm,
Island has reached out to me, like all the HBO dating shows.
okay.
Are You the One?
Mm,
Real World. Every
okay.
game show. Everything that's to do with dating or
Fair.
marriage. Yeah.
Okay. I've
Except for 90
only
Day
Something is
Fiance.
in your universe right now. Like all of this conversation, like
Eh,
clearly. There
I
we
just
go.
it's because I'm not good at dating, so people know it'd be good TV.
There it is.
Yeah.
fine. Okay. Sorry. I do have to wrap up soon because my family's
Yes.
waiting for me.
Yep.
I only have one more question.
Okay.
So one of the questions I had for you was obviously before on my show, you were single, or you were just kind of getting in with your husband. And then obviously now you have a baby son, not baby son, he's like five or six?
It's
Three. Okay.
okay. It's okay.
He's talking.
I'm talking. Shut up.
No, I was saying the baby's talking. It's like, or the son is
Oh,
talking.
yes,
Like,
yes, yes.
yeah.
How do you, and it has nothing to do with gender because I want to point that out because I was talking with someone earlier. They're like, are you only asking this question because she's a woman? No, I mean, you have a lot on your plate. You're an EP, you are a stepmother, you're a wife, you're a mother, you're a mother to whatever. You know what I mean? Like you also have whatever.
She's booked and busy with life.
You're booked and busy with life. And how did you balance all that, especially right now? Because especially before you were traveling so much, how has that changed
Because production takes a lot of your
with my
life.
messy English?
Yeah, no, that is a huge question.
I know. I
Look,
know.
work-life balance when you're in reality television is hard, like almost impossible.
Yeah.
And I think I made a very conscious decision to make sure that I was in a place in my career where I knew that if I took a moment away,
Mhm.
that I could come back and fingers crossed, still be in the same place that I was in.
Mhm.
And that goes along with dating too. It's like I didn't want to date. I was focused on career. It was everything about my career. And then, you have a shift in your life when you get to a certain age and you have to make a decision if you want a child or not. There's many different ways to have children, right? Like many different ways to have children.
No, I'm pointing myself because I'm 36. I'm like, yes, I get it.
Yeah. And look, because there are so many ways, I didn't feel pressure.
Mhm.
And whether that's adoption, whether that's IVF, whether that's natural, like, because there is so many ways, I never felt pressure until I was like, oh shit, I'm going to be an old mom. Like, and then I was like, oh God, like I have to get my shit together.
Mhm.
And I was like, all right, I can set people up on TV. I can't set myself up. So how am I going to set myself up in order to meet someone? I literally made it a game and was like, I'm giving myself a 6-month window. If I can
Mhm.
go on as many dates and meet as many people as possible, something's got to stick. And I was at, I'm going to say 5 months and 28 days. And I was like, went out with my husband, like you just have to, you have to make a very conscious decision. And then you have to make a conscious decision on how to balance it. And, I choose not to go on the road right now, if at all possible, although I have done some things on the road. And I took an 8-month-old child with me and a nanny on the road to Biggest Loser. And it was 3 months on the road and my husband came to visit, and it is not an easy life. That being said, I love what I do and I don't see myself doing something else. And so you have to kind of figure out what that balance is when you get there.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's perfect. Also, it totally gave me vibes of my friend who basically made that same focus,
I
and we
literally
called her
was
Tinderella.
I was almost about to say that, and I almost interjected, and I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Literally,
Yeah.
and then
I mean,
she
I
met
ended
us.
up hiring a matchmaker. I was like, I hired a matchmaker. I went on every dating app. I was like,
Do you know
how, like,
Patty?
what? No, not
Do
Patty.
you know Patty? I was
I
gonna say, set her up.
wanted Patty, let's be clear, but
Like,
Yeah,
I've
well, I
high-key
can't
been thinking
afford.
about that. Like, legit, because I have a friend who's talking about getting a matchmaker, and I was like, should I do that? But maybe. This is okay. You're giving
I
me
will
hope.
tell you the matchmaker taught me how to date. And I feel like that took me to the next level. Not that I think I spent my money right, but definitely took me. I mean, I feel like we're totally off random reality topics, but
No, but I know people want to hear it too.
Yeah, it's like
Because
people want to learn
I
everything.
literally
Yeah.
have been thinking about that because I am not great at dating. I'm not. I'm just not. I'm bad. I'm bad at texting. I'm bad at replying, unless they're my friends. That's really it. So, like, I think that would be great.
but you have
See,
to
but
make
you
a
already
commitment.
know that.
But if
Oh,
you have to make a commitment, if you want somebody and you want a boyfriend or what our partner or whatever, you got to make the commitment. And if
yeah.
you're not ready, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
There we go.
And make the commitment.
Hello.
Oh, it's so hard. It's so much work.
Very
People.
simple.
I'm
Very
kidding.
simple.
I know.
Love.
Well,
cool.
thank you so much for coming on to Fame Adjacent. We really appreciate it. I loved having you on. I also love that we reconnected through the podcast. That's one thing I love about this podcast is I'm reconnecting to like some of my old friends, like Makani. Me and Makani been hanging out so much. I met her aunt, like, and we're like,
And
we're already playing.
Sophina, like, yeah.
Sophina, yeah, another guest we had who's an all-American gymnast and actress. I just went to the bar with her last night, and it's just really nice. I'm so happy we did this podcast.
Yeah,
So thank you so
it's
much for
perfect.
coming on and spending your time with us.
And sharing so much. I love it.
Oh my God,
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I will say, my new show is coming out. Paramount
Oh
Plus.
Yes,
Blowing
plug.
LA. We totally forgot to bring
my gosh,
Blowing
plug.
LA.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Plug the things. Go
I asked
off.
you.
So we don't have an official air date aside from early December, but I'm very excited to announce Blowing LA is coming to LA. It's a show about high-end hairdressers in Los Angeles. And hopefully it'll get a distributor here in the States. We don't know who that is yet. But it's very Selling Sunset. Very, very Selling Sunset.
Wait, quick thing. Is it 901? Which studio or which salon did y'all? Or can you say that?
Oh no. So I can tell you two salons. So it's starring by Ted Gibson is
Okay.
one salon and Kim Vo is the other salon.
Yeah.
And so they're both amazing talents, and both very much into the celebrity world. And it's a journey to go on, that's for sure. It's 8 episodes, and there is a lot of drama.
Gorgeous.
I actually tried to get my hair cut from the second one,
Kim
Vo.
Vo, during COVID because I like really needed a haircut, and I used like one of the salons that like were taking clients safely, but like God, small world. So
Wow,
random.
love
LA.
that.
But that's really
Yeah,
exciting.
I'll hit you up when that's about to come out or get an air date or whatever. But
Yes,
like,
please come back on when it's on and when we're a little
Yeah.
bigger.
oh
too.
no, once that show drops, you're gonna want all the tea.
Oh, 100%. I'm super
For
excited 'cause I
sure.
love Selling Sunset, so anything.
Same.
Also, really cool for you. It can definitely become such a franchise,
It's
like
real-
London, Tokyo. I mean, that's like
Yeah,
a
you can do
giant
that
opportunity.
anywhere.
It's
Yeah.
exciting. Hopefully, and it's shot in LA, so then I get to be with my family.
Well, that too.
Exactly. Perfect.
Yes,
All the
yes.
things covered. Oh, congratulations. That's amazing.
It was nice to meet you, Victoria, and
Yes,
great
you
to
too.
see you too, Michael.
Nice to see you.
Perfect.
Bye, Famies.
Bye.